Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today what we're going to be doing is planting blueberries. We purchased 4 blueberry bushes, for plants, and the variety we picked here, I'm going to show you the first one here. Now these are bare root blueberries. You can buy them in bare root. Sometimes they'll come in a little plastic baggie, you know, with the roots already in the dirt. And sometimes you can get them in a pot. You know, it all depends on the time of the year. During the winter time, they're usually dormant, so they're bare root, and that's fine. But you got to keep when you get them at bare root, you have to keep the roots moist. And the best way to do that, as soon as you get them, put them in dirt, moist dirt, and leave it like that until you're ready to plant them. This first variety here is, I won't say the name because this is a family-friendly channel. We'll just call it the Big Donkey. All right. This here is a very good variety. The blueberries are huge on this. Okay. Now, blueberries are self-pollinating, meaning you don't really need another blueberry plant in order for it to cross-pollinate. But if you do get a different variety, you will increase the size and the amount of fruit that you're going to get. So, along with this Big Donkey, here I have 2 of those. Okay, we got 2 here. Here we have a Vernon blueberry. Vernon blueberries do very, very well, from everything I've read, with these first variety that I have here. The next variety here I have is a Alipaha, okay? That one is supposed to do very well with the Vernon. So when you get blueberries, try to get at least 2 different varieties so they can cross-pollinate. That'll increase their size of their fruit that you get and the amount also. But very, very important today, what we're going to be doing is amending the soil. Now this is even more important than your vegetable garden, because blueberries, if you don't know, they want a very acidic soil. Usually in your regular garden you want 6.5, even 7, you know, neutral. Blueberries, on the other hand, they like it very acidic. They like it 4.5 to 5.5, right in that range. We've had a ton of rain here, and what I want you guys to get one of these right here. All right, this here checks your soil pH. It checks how much sunlight you're getting in your area there, wherever you stick it in the ground. This portion here you stick into the ground. So this will tell you the pH, it'll tell you the sunlight, and it'll tell you how much moisture is in your soil, if it's wet, normal, or dry. Okay. It comes with a little cap here. You take this little cap off and you stick this right into the ground, and we'll do it here and I'll show you. Now we've had a lot of rain here. You stick it right in the ground just like that. And as you can see, we are at 7, and 7 is too alkaline here. And of course, like I said, we had a lot of rain, and that's not good, because that makes your soil more alkaline. So here what we have to do is make the soil, how can I say it? We have to make it acidic, but it won't become acidic right away. We have to give it all that it needs to become acidic. The bacteria in the soil will take care of that, keeping it acidic, and along with a little help. So what we're going to do now is we need to amend the soil. We're going to make it so it becomes acidic. It's not going to become acidic immediately. It's going to take some time, maybe a month or 2. But these plants right now, they're dormant, but they're just starting to wake up. The buds are just starting to pop on them. So we need to get the soil ready, so in about a month or 2, the soil conditions will be just right, and the pH should be down around 5. on the pH scale. So that's what they want, and that's how they'll produce fruit. Of course, these are still young and they need to grow. So let's get this going here, and then I'll show you what else I'm going to do. So what I'm putting down now is the compost. I'm trying to figure out about where I want them. I'll put a stake over there. That's where I want my first one, starting right about here. Now they have to be about 5 to 6 feet apart. I'm going to squeeze them in a little. I'm going to put them at 5. So 5 here, and I want them in a nice straight line. So we'll worry about that later, as far as getting them in a nice straight line. But right now, what I'm going to do is amend the soil with this compost. I got some sphagnum peat moss. You need the peat moss that will in time produce an acidic soil. It'll help it produce an acidic soil. Peat moss, you know, fresh peat moss, you open the bag and get it wet and stuff, that's pretty much neutral. But in time, that will become acidic. It'll help it to become acidic. So let's do this. Let me put some more of this compost down. Let's see here. Actually, that looks pretty good, right about where it's at. The blueberries, they want a well-drained soil, a well-draining soil, excuse me. So that's what we're shooting for with adding all this compost on there. So next, we're going to get some peat moss. Okay, here we have some sphagnum peat moss, and you can pick this stuff up at the big box stores. So what we're going to do here is put as much as we can, break it up, because a lot of this stuff, it's compressed and compacted in these bags, and the chunks are really big in here, so we got to break it up a little bit. But anyways, you want to add about the same amount of whatever compost you put in the peat moss, also that amount. And we're just going to do that all the way down. Okay, so I added my peat moss on there. The only thing we need to do now is we're going to amend this with the native soil. So I'm going to get my tiller here. You can use a shovel if you want. Just dig into your native soil and mix everything in really good. But I'm just going to till it and get a general area. Now you want an area 2-3 feet around the plant. The root systems don't get really big on blueberries. I mean, they don't get huge. So a general area, maybe 3 feet around where the plant's going to go. You know, mix the soil up really good. Amend it with all the compost and peat moss. Actually, I'm going to add one more thing. Now, for those of you that watch my channel, you know that I love using azomite. Azomite is a volcanic ash. It's got a ton load of minerals in there, and we're going to put about a cup like this. Just sprinkle it in there like that, and then it's going to be all tilled in anyways, mixed in. This way the root system can find these the minerals in here. The bacteria will break up the minerals because they release like an acid while they're eating their compost, and they break down the minerals into a form that the plant can use. That's a symbiotic relationship that bacteria have with the roots of all plants, and that's how we get our minerals when we eat the fruits and vegetables. So here I'm adding about a cup. Now if you I already have them planted in the ground. Just kind of loosen up the soil around the plant just a little bit. Sprinkle this around the plant and kind of cover it back up, you know, in the first inch of soil or so. When you water it and stuff, it'll dissolve and go into the soil. Okay, so now we are going to till this up. All right, so we are ready. I got my plant here, and it's still bare root. The roots are really, really fine on this. Like I said, the root system doesn't get super huge on these. But what I did is I tilled out an area here, approximately 2 feet around, almost 3 feet, and I put a line here so I can keep my rows nice and straight. And all we're going to do is move some of this soil out of the way and put that in there like that. Now let's do this. There. Now I'm above, maybe a few inches above the soil here. And maybe the roots are right at ground level right now. Now again, this is going to settle a little bit after, you know, it rains and when you water it and everything. So you don't want this, what I'm basically saying, you don't want this plant being below ground, then it raining, and then it, you know, all the water pool up in here. You don't want that. You want it a little higher than the ground. And now it depends where you live. If you live in a very dry, arid place, then you're better off keeping them at ground level. Okay, I got myself a cup of, this is it's basically an all-purpose fertilizer. You don't want super high NPK. The blueberries don't really like super high nitrogen and all that. Organic, you know, if you can. But organic would be the preferred choice. And just sprinkle it around like this. That's good enough. And then just work it in the soil a little bit. Okay. And we want to create like a little bowl just to hold the water a little bit. Now the next ingredient I'm going to add is an acidifier. It is a sulfur, I guess it's sulfur based acidifier, and we're going to sprinkle that all around here, and you want to do that every so often. Let me get it, and we're going to put it around here. So this here is a soil acidifier. You can pick this up at any of the big box stores. Nurseries will probably have it. This will lower the pH of your soil, but not right away. It takes some time. It is sulfur based. This particular brand is made by Espoma. They say for new plants, so this is a new plant here, about a cup or a quarter to put around the plants. Established plants, they say 2.5 cups. So this is a new plant here. We're gonna fill this bad boy up. And we're just gonna sprinkle it. And then we're just going to kind of work it in the soil a little bit, in and around this area. And again, when you water, it's going to pull all that down and making your soil more acidic, which the blueberries love. So that is pretty much it. Now we're just going to water it and let it do its thing. This acidifier that I put on there, it's going to last about 2 months. They say to repeat the process about every 2 months. So in 2 months from now, I'm going to come in here, sprinkle another cup or so, and then work it in the soil, and that'll keep the soil acidic. Like I said, like they like. If you don't keep the soil acidic, if you keep it around 6.5, 7, they don't like that, okay? And you probably won't get any fruit from it. So keep the soil acidic, put a little bit of organic fertilizer around there every once in a while, especially early in the spring when these start waking up, and probably again during the summer, and probably in the late fall again. This application that I put on here should last about 2 months. So in 2 months from now, I'm just going to get the soil acidifier, get another cup or so, and put it on there and work it in the soil. Use that pH checker that I showed you. You can pick those up. I'll put a link to that. If I can find the exact one, I'll put a link to that or something very similar that you can stick in there, check the acidity of the soil, and to see how this is working. But every 2 months, an application of this all around the plant, work it in. That's pretty much it, guys. And hopefully, I don't know about this year, but I'm hoping to get a few this year to where I can taste them. And then next year, we should be rocking and rolling and making all kinds of blueberry stuff, hopefully. All right, guys, so thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.